disciples needed to learn about his ability to provide through the feeding of the 5,000, he had another lesson for them to learn. I often wondered, when you finish the story of the feeding of the 5,000, the disciples have just been part of one of the greatest miracles of all time, but they don't even have any time to stand around and have everybody congratulate them on their participation. Because it says immediately he made his disciples get into a boat to go before them to the other side to Bethsaida, which is further over on the east. And so while he dismisses the crowd, later on we discover that Jesus, it says, goes up on the mountain to pray. And then while he's praying, they're out on the water. It says, when evening came, the boat was out on the sea, and he was alone on the land. And he saw that they were making headway painfully, for the wind was against them. And so, obviously, they're sailing, but they're also trying to row, perhaps, and fight the wind to go to the east. And apparently, they're not having much luck. It says, and about the 4th watch of the night, he came to them, walking on the sea. He meant to pass by them. Now, the idea there is that he was not walking their direction. It was like he was walking along as if he would go right on by, right on to where he was going to meet them. And it says, when they saw him walking on the sea, they thought it was a ghost and cried out, for they all saw him and were terrified. But immediately he spoke to them and said, take heart, it's I, don't be afraid. And he got into the boat with them, and the wind ceased. And they were utterly astounded, for they did not understand about the loaves, but their hearts were hardened. So much there. So much there. He basically shows them he's in control of the elements, even to be able to walk over them. We know from the other parallels, what else takes place here as they see Jesus walking on the water? Peter, actually, in the other Gospels, we read decides he wants to see if this really is the Lord. And he says, if it's you, command me to come out. I might have come up with another way of trying to identify the Lord. But the Lord said, come on. And of course he did. He steps out of the boat, walks to the Lord, at least until he takes his eyes off the Lord and begins to sink. The Lord brings him back. They walk together back, get into the boat. But I love this part here, and it ties into what we just talked about earlier. It says they didn't understand about the loaves. Their hearts were hardened. You know, God can do such incredible things, and we still don't get it. And even in walking across here, it was when he got back into the boat that they realized how much they didn't know about him, how much they still didn't understand. You know, there are so many times I know when you teach the Word, you preach the Word, and you minister the Word, and God seems to be doing such incredible things around you, but then you have people who just don't get it. They don't see God at work. You see God's hand. You're amazed at what God is doing. They don't see it. It takes more than just being in the place. Lots of tourists will come and go to Israel who won't get it. It takes more than participating in incredible things. It takes our hearts being touched by the Spirit and open, and it takes faith. And you know, I hope that for you, and I hope when you have the chance to bring people here, it will be the kind of experience that maybe opens eyes and opens up faith in God that didn't exist before. You know, it's one thing to read about the Sea of Galilee. It is another to see how it all fits together. Now, the amazing thing is the story all ties together, because when we're done here and we